Good evening, class, and welcome to your virtual course. My name is Dr. Araipur. I have sent you several emails regarding the course, asking you to explore the course. So we're going to explore the course today together. So this is the home page of Canvas. When you go to home page of Canvas, it starts with a welcoming message. I hope you have watched that. It's just a couple of minutes. I'm happy to have you here. Then we just continue with the numbers. Number 2, it's the class philosophy. So this class is a community, and therefore we all have the same objective to learn. Online students often feel isolated, but it is vitally important to know you are not in this alone. I would like each of you to approach our online class with a great attitude and a willingness to help one another. Many problems and questions can be resolved by asking a fellow student. I'm always here to help you, but I truly believe your experience will be more fruitful if you communicate with your fellow students as well. That's the short idea about the class philosophy. The course objective, of course, for our college algebra course is to it revolves around offering students a college level academic experience with emphasis on the use of algebra and functions in problem solving and modeling. This course covers advanced algebra topics, including linear, quadratic, polynomial, exponential, logarithmic functions, etc. Also, you have my contact here. You can email me from Canvas or simply mraipur@lbcc.edu. Make sure when you email, you put your full name in the email, as well as having a decent and proper subject line. Number 3 is the announcements. Let me put this in student mode. So announcement, you can click it here or on the left navigation bar. I hope you see you have a bunch of them, including the announcements right here or here, makes no difference. It takes you to the same spot. So under the announcements, what do you find? I had sent you all of this. They are sent in the form of an email as well. There was a recorded orientation. It's an old recorded orientation. Then welcome and orientation, welcoming you to the virtual course. And there were several of them. I started with December 22nd and a couple more later. Going back to the homepage of the case, the Canvas page. Number 3 is a 4. After number 3 is number 4, which is the syllabus, modules, homework, and so on. First, I want you to see on the left side right here, which it reads Tech Connect Zoom. Obviously, everybody knows this is where you join the course. So you just join the course. So what is left? Under number 4, we're going to look at syllabus. Now, again, you can click on the syllabus here or on the left navigation bar, makes no difference. So what do we find under that? Number 1, I want to go over the second piece, which is the calendar. It's an Excel file. Basically, we have only a few weeks, so we have a lot to do. And there are a couple of assignments that are due right here, and you will see it when we go to my Open Math as well. The first one is introductory assignment to MOB by Open Math, which helps you learn how to navigate the digital platform. And the second one is the algebra review, so the prior knowledge of mathematics in essence. Now here's the syllabus, and syllabus, as you know, nowadays they're huge. Okay, so what I did, I put them in the following format. you see the subjects. You can go to the subject of interest. You uh, can go by a specific subject. For example, you may be interested in the grading policy or so on. But I'm going to quickly cover the entire thing. You can always go back for more details. So starting with the course, the section number, the time that we meet, description, student learning outcomes, course objectives. The text is you can find it online. It's free. Again, I'll show you when we go to my Open Math, or you can just click on it right here and it brings it up. Class calendar, basically we meet in the evening from 5:30 to 8:20, Monday through Friday. And the Zoom meeting is mentioned here. Also, you can join from the Canvas page. As you can see, we have 4 exams and a comprehensive final. The way I've set up the exam, I want to discuss that first. All exams, you receive an email which has the password and the information about the exam. The exam takes place uh, using the digital platform, as I mentioned, MOM, short for my Open Math. And I've set them up. You can take it anytime after you receive the password until its due date. The due date, I've set them up for Saturdays because I want to make sure you're relaxed and you did a good job and you get a great grade. So every exam is set up for a due date of Saturdays. There's no proctorio. I believe we are all here to learn. Okay. Of course, I expect everybody to take the exam on their own, but there is no proctorio. It is strongly advised to watch the recordings of practice tests, exams for success in the course. All exam reviews are recorded and can be found under the recorded practice test lectures tab in Canvas. I will be available during the designated class time and student office hours to address any questions. So we meet, as I mentioned, on a daily basis from 5:30 to 8:20. Important dates, calculators. Uh, you may use a graphing calculators in some of the exams, not all of them. And what happens here is that I have provided free online calculators in case. So I believe in truly free education. You don't have to pay for anything, including calculators. We have the tech support for the publisher, for the campus, Math Success Center. That's if you need tutoring, aside from the class time, various helpful websites. And now probably the most important part, as far as at least I'm concerned, would be grading policy. So what we have is it's a point system. The total would be 1,000 points. So we have online homework, which is worth 300 points. As long as the assignments are done before the due date, you can do it as many times as you like. So that makes it easy. On a normal basis, students do an A1 job on that. Then there are 4 tests, each one is worth 100 points, and the final, which is comprehensive, 300 points, giving us total of 1,000 points. 90%, that means 900 points or more is an A. 80%, that means 800 to 899 is a B, and so on and so forth. That's the grading policy. There is no makeup exam because you have basically a few days to take the exam until the due date. But if something comes up, you let me know in advance and I will try to accommodate you. If you miss any of the exams, the grade will be 0. On a normal basis, students who miss the exams, they will be dropped. But if in case you remain in the class, the 0 will remain intact. However, if you take all the exams, and we may be able to replace the worst exam grade by the final score if Your final score is good. That means you have 80% or higher. Homework is at 95% or higher. We don't have a discussion board for this course. And this action will result in a higher letter grade. That's really the key. It ends up giving you a better grade. You get a 10% deduction, and if you use a late work policy, it is possible to use the late work for a couple of assignments. I highly recommend you avoid that because it's a very fast-paced course, and this 120 doesn't apply here. 120 hours is only 20. It's only 48 hours for an a winter session course, and the rest of them follows. It's a short term. Therefore, you need a minimum of 20 hours per week to work on this course to be successful, okay? Because according to the CSULB study 36, you need 3 times the number of units per week for a 16-week course to be successful. And of course, as far as dropping is concerned, if you miss the orientation, do not register with the course or you miss any of the exams. More information, the SPS, financial aids, and so on, and summary steps to, to succeed in this class. Number 1, follow the PowerPoints. Number 2, do your homework, and with the homework, you have some videos embedded. And of course, if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to ask any questions in class. We don't have office hours for the winter session. Then we have more information such as basic needs, justice scholars, and this one is also important, an etiquette for online learning, they call it. Although this is an online course, but ultimately you should assume you're taking it on campus. Therefore, the fact that we should show absolute, courtesy towards one another and be professional. We should use correct spelling and grammar. We should use positive tone and so on. I hope everybody is okay with all of that. So that's our syllabus, and I want to go back to the home page of Canvas. So under the modules, we can find the homework and the exams. So on the left navigation bar, before I go to the modules, I want to also look at this one, Math Success Center. This is, in essence, the tutoring lab, and it has all the information. Let me, for now, leave this to them. Okay. So they will provide tutoring for various types of courses. More information will be available here. You can find information online. You can call them, okay? There's an online help, in-person help, and it gives you the location. So this is the Math Success Center, our tutoring center, everybody, okay? All right, so let's close that. And again, let's we are going to go to modules. Again, modules, you can find it here, or again on the left navigation bar, class. That's where you find it. Under discussion, because I want to go to modules last, under discussion, what I have here, I have student bios. And I put mine as an example. If you'd like your fellow students to get to know you, please put your student bio. And if you want to reply to a fellow student, please do so, but with absolute respect, and always please use positive tone. I appreciate that. So that's the discussion forum. Again, Go back to the home page of Canvas. So the last thing I want to look at is the modules, and that's really the main part, if you will. On the left navigation part, you see the modules, or right here, modules, makes no difference. So at the very top, you see it reads My Open Math, access your online homework, exams, no need for course ID. This is the first one. And again, although this is at the very top, I'm going to explore that at the end. I want to go over that in a minute, but then you have recorded lecture practice, support, algebra prerequisites, okay, in the form of a PowerPoints and a PDF file. We will look at them in a moment. Then you see week 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth, or simply put in this case, week 1 stands for exam 1 module. The first thing you see is a practice test. Then you see the PowerPoints for the lectures. Then you see the key. I'm going to come back to this. I want to scroll down to the end. Number 2, repeats. You have the practice test. Then you have the PowerPoints for the lectures, and then the key to the practice test at the end. Same thing for the third one, the fourth one, and the fifth one. What comes at the very end is about the TI calculator information that I have here. Basically, graphing calculators, not necessarily just the TI. So, all right, what you see here, information about the calculator and a possibility to download and emulate. When I say possibility, because sometimes it doesn't work, okay? I've had some issues with that, but you may be able to make it work. There are various online calculators. TI is included here. So at the bottom, you see other online calculators. So these are resources. Then TI calculator commands. We have some of them. Of course, there's more to it, but the major ones you come across. Okay. All right. And so going back to the home page and the modules. So the bottom one is graphing calculator. Now, what do we find here? I want to start with module 1. The very first thing you find here is the practice test. So what is a practice test? This is the synopsis of what we cover in the first module. And if you take a couple of minutes to read, this is what you need to learn and do well for the first module. What's the second one? We have all the PowerPoints from section 2.1 to 2.2, all the way to the end of the chapter. So we have the PowerPoints. And what is the last one? I'm looking at the exam 1 module. Now, this is the key. So over here, we had the practice test. At the end of that module, we have the key, the answer to each question. You really have to know how to deal with them. So this is what is being covered for that module. More importantly, now I want to go back to this very top, everybody. And I'm going to start with the recorded lectures practice test exam review. This one has the recorded solution step by step to those practice tests. And this is what will be covered in class. Okay, everybody, we will cover them in class. I want to make sure everybody understands what I'm saying here. Now, the next one would be lecture section by section. So I'm going to repeat this. I want to make sure we understand what just happened here. Under the modules, everybody, when you look at module one, what does it start with? This one, the very first one, let me actually close this. This is the practice test. So the first one is the practice test. The third one is the key to the practice test. Every question is answered. So we have the first one, we have the third one, and the key. This one, when you go to the recorded, it has the solution step by step, not just the key. So we have the practice test, we have the key to the practice test, and the solution is recorded and posted. Now, I expect you to work on the key, on the practice test, check with the keys, and then, of course, I will have them recorded again just to make sure everything makes sense to you. So if you want to go back to the previous ones we have, or if you want to move in, move faster than the rest of the class, you're by all means, you're more than welcome to do that. Or if you miss the class, that's fine. But I will do that on a daily basis. So again, this one is the practice test. This one is the key to the practice test. And under the recorded practice test, we find the solution that has been recorded in the form of a PowerPoint from A to Z. Also, we find section by section PowerPoints. What section are we discussing again? If you go back to this week one, for example, exam one module, the one in the middle, this is the list of the section covered for the first module. This list is covered here in the form of a lecture. So I hope everybody's clear. All right. So what comes next? Now, the last thing that we want to discuss is the digital platform. So to do so, let me post some of this stuff, maybe this one. And even this one. And I'm going to go here, and I'm going to put that in student mode. So I want you to see how you register. As a student, if you click on this, everybody, the very first one, then it'll take you here. You either have an account with this digital platform or not. If you do, you have a username and password. If not, make it up and register for this course. It's very simple, everybody. So one more time. When you go to the modules, the very top one, this one, it reads 2026 Winter Math 445. If you click on it, it'll let you register. Probably want to use your email address, and password that you use for your school. It's your choice, okay? All right. So going back to the home page, we practically covered everything, and now we are going to look at our digital platform. Where do we find the digital platform? If you go to Canvas and right here, register, it will take you to my OpenMath. And this is your digital platform. The very first thing you notice at top, it reads Introduction to my OpenMath. It has to be done immediately. The next one, Algebra Review. Pre-test is testing your prior knowledge of mathematics. The purpose of that, it actually is to let you know where you stand. Exams, for now, you don't have to worry about them, but if you expand them, exam one, so on and so forth. So I'm going to close it for now because the exams, we don't have to worry about them at this point yet. We have the course description. Okay. And what I want to really mention is that all content is in the course modules folder, which include textbook section, videos, and sets of homework. For most sections of the text, you will find two assessments, video assignments. These assessments contain video lessons. After each video, there is one or two questions that corresponds with the examples in the video. Then we have practice or homework assignments. These assessments contain additional problems, and I hope you follow that. Now notice, this is the calendar, and you can show the, the number of weeks that you want. It is on 4. Let's say we make it 2, or we go back to 4. I hope you see that the first couple of assignments are immediately due. Then by Friday, the day before each exam, I've made all assignments due. I want to first explain that, because in the past I've come across a case that students would say, okay, I don't have time, and I just have time on the weekends and so forth. That's why I'm giving you until Friday, and I didn't make it due on a daily basis. But if you wait until that day, it will be too late to catch up. Okay. So that's the setup as far as the work is concerned. And of course, on Saturdays, we have the exams. Now, after that, you see module 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The modules 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are just the same as what we see in Canvas. Over here, we do the homework. Over there, we can find the PowerPoints, we can find the practice test, and so forth. So the question is, what is module 0? As you read, it says resources. That's it. Module 0 would be just the resources. First, we have the text. If you click on it, it brings up the test. And this one is, in essence, the PDF file format. And this one is the digital format. Let's see if we can make that work sometime. Okay. And so the difference between the two is that this is easier to navigate. Okay. Otherwise, they are really the same. So that's where you find your text. Then we have a couple of calculators I put here. Okay. Again, free online calculators. Then it says about the late pass, how it works, how you check your grades, more free online calculators here, everybody. And for example, for this particular one, as I said, it's there's a video about how it works. So that would be module 0. So what is module 0? Just some information, text, online resources, and so on. Your homework and your class, in essence, starts with module 1. So what do we find with module 1? So first, you got to expand it. Then you see the chapter, you got to expand it. And you see various sections. So start with the very first section of that 2.1. As you expand it, what do you see? First, you see the learning objectives. Learning objectives. Then it gives you the section and the page that you can read if you want to read the information, the specific page of a textbook. Okay, takes you to that. Now, I want to discuss the videos here. The videos that you have here is provided by the digital platform. Those are different than my videos. If they work, I've seen in the past students watching those videos, they be happy with it, and that's all they do. They watch the videos, then they go to the video assignment, then the practice assignment, and that's it. They're done. So if you want to try this to see whether they work for you, or you want to look at the, uh, my YouTube channel and the recordings that I've shown you, you can find it under the modules. Your choice, or I highly recommend you look at both cases and see which one works better for you. In any event, so next one, so you have a bunch of videos. Next one is the first assignment in the form of a video. So I hope you see how easy it is. It's practically explaining the questions to you, right? After that, after you do the video assignment, then you do the practice assignment, which is a little bit, a tad more involved. And when you do that, some of them, for example, if you look at even the very first one, you see that there is a help in the form of a video. In case I don't know how to answer that, I can watch the video. So I hope you see that. And most of the questions do have, in this case, there's another video. In this case, there's a video. In some cases, there is no help, but a lot of them do have help. So what do we do then? So we go to module 1. Let me just actually minimize it and now maximize it. Okay, chapter 2, 2.1, learning objectives, reading part, if we want to read, videos, and then there are 2 assignments. One is in the form of a video assignment, one is in the form of practice assignment. All right. So just to show you how these things work, I'm going to go back to the very top, and I'm going to look at this introductory assignment that has to be done immediately. So what happens is that you just enter the answers here. In this case, it says enter this number, and notice a math palette opens up. Let me just send this up. So over here, we want to put 80.2994. Now 80 point, we want to, okay, we want to round it to the nearest hundreds. So 9, okay, 9. So next to it is 9. So goes up, becomes 30. Okay. Division by 0, we can't divide by 0. As you know, it's undefined. So when you click on it, it doesn't have undefined. It has DNE, does not exist. And look at the check mark when we submit. The check mark means, okay, we did it right. Good. Now, if we need more practice, we can get a similar question. For example, right here, it says convert 1/3 to a decimal. As you know, the answer is 0.3 bar. So I'm going to put 0.3. And I hope you know it's wrong. I have to put 0.3 in definite number of times, but it's asking for enter 4. Take a look, enter 4 or more decimal places. So I don't want to do that on purpose. So I submit the question, and obviously it's wrong. So what do? I'm not going to go to the next question. No, I want to get this question right. So I'm going to say, okay, get me a similar question. It happened to give me the same thing this time. I put 0 point and I put 3 a number of times. And when I submit it, I get a correct answer with a check mark. So what happens? I can continue working on it, or I can say I'm done. Why? Because maybe something came up I can't finish, but I intend to go back and finish it. And for now, those two, they check mark. So if I resume, I can go to the next question and continue. So what it does, it automatically registers this one as my grade for this particular assignment. And after the due date, if I don't go back to resume and finish them off, that becomes my grade. If I resume it before that, of course, I can improve upon that. So that's how you do the assignment. So here's the synopsis of what we did. I want to recap. So here's the home page of Canvas. A welcoming message, philosophy, and objectives. Announcements. Under the announcements, so far we have received a few of them and more is coming. On the left side, we see the Tech Connect Zoom right here. This is where we attend the class, the Zoom meeting. Then under number 4, we have syllabus, modules, and so on. And before that, again, I want to remind you about the discussion. There are 2 of them. Student bios, it was mentioned. Also, there's a frequently asked questions. Okay. Questions are answered here that in the past students asked. One of them is that do I need a course ID, for example? No. Or where do I find the password for the exam? I highly recommend you take a couple of minutes to read them because if you happen to have any questions, most of them are answered here. Also on the left side, you see the Math Success Center. This is the tutoring center. It has a lot of resources, including they also have from time to time free online calculators, free calculators for the students to pick up. And the last one, we discussed the syllabus. Okay, the syllabus, the calendar, details of the syllabus. And now under the modules, again, I want to scroll down to the very end. It's the information about the TI calculator. And at the top, where it says week 1, we have the practice test. We have PowerPoints for this module, chapter 2. And then we have the key to practice test. When we go to the very top, the first one is where we register with the digital platform, MOM, short for My Open Math. The second one has recorded lectures and practice test step by step. The next one, everybody, this is a support topic for college algebra. If you need to go back to some prior knowledge of mathematics, such as intermediate algebra, I also have support text and practice test lectures for that. You may not need that at all. I don't know, but that's the purpose of this one. Now, the algebra prerequisites, we will have this discussed in class and recorded. That is also, in essence, is a part of the support. I want to, make sure that the prior knowledge of mathematics is met, so we'll have no problem moving on. And as I mentioned, with the very top one, we go to My Open Math. In My Open Math, first we see the introduction to My Open Math. Then the algebra review, the 2 must be done immediately. As we move down, the calendar tells us the assignments that are being due. Module 0, bunch of resources, including the textbook, free online calculators, and so on. And then our work starts with module 1. All right, this is it, everybody. I wish you all best of luck and happy studying, everybody.